Okay, this is our game with Julia. Come sit on my lap.
Okay,
Yeah.
what is it called?
It's called chess. It's called Chess with Julia. Okay. And this is the app we have right here. Do you want to choose an app color? There's Vapor, Journal, Solar, Superhero, and Minty.
You can pick a game.
Alright, let's go with Sideboard for now, okay? Now, we have the regular chessboard down here, and we have the graph view up here. So let's follow the game with Julia and see what it looked like as a graph. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we'll do E3 on chess.com, and then we'll go do E3 on Ascii Chess, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll do E5 on chess.com and E5 on Ascii Chess, right?
Yeah.
And then knight C3 and knight C3.
Yep.
Are there any red lines yet?
Nope.
Queen F6. Queen F6. Is there a red line now?
Yep.
Good. Yep.
I captured.
Now knight D5. Oh look, there's more red lines. See that?
You got captured.
Yeah. And then if we move Queen D6, Q D6. There it is. And then, oh, Queen F3. Q F3. There we go. And now we do knight C6.
Oh,
Hey, Dylan.
he's bouncing.
Want to bring Dylan up here with us? Oh, let's try not to fall. Yeah.
It makes it harder with
It's a little bit more difficult. Dylan's gonna go now. Yep. Dylan's gonna go play with a shoe. Okay. So that was knight to C6, right? Knight. And did we already do knight C6 on the right? No,
Well,
we
we'll
didn't.
finish with Minecraft. Finish with these two chesses. Where you got to pick a different game.
I gotta pick a different game, huh?
Or if you're finished with games, now you don't need to play games.
Bishop to B7. Why should I pick a different game, Jacob?
Because if you're
Is it not healthy to play too much of the same game?
this band and if you keep doing if you look at a screen, it will hurt you. Actually, if you play games, it's not.
That's true, Jacob. I should probably think about how much screen time I'm getting, right?
Screen is bad for your eyes because it can hurt your eyes.
Look at this. Julia's knight moved there, and now I'm going to do a trick on her. See, look. I'm going to move the pawn to C5, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And now she's going to capture that, and I'm going to do... So I'm going to... That capture is going to be BX C5, right? And then I'm going to do my own BX C5, right? And then she's gonna capture my pawn with QX C5, right? And then I'm gonna fork her king and her queen because her king and her rook, because her queen is not protecting that pawn anymore. See that? With NX C7 plus, right? See how the knight is pointing to the king and the rook now?
Yeah.
With the red lines? See that triangle with the red lines right there?
Yeah.
Right.
And
right
the
there.
rook
See that?
and the rook protecting the king called?
That's the rook. He's protecting the king.
Oh, he's protecting the king, but there's no walk.
But the knight is getting them both. See that? La 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 la. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Like that. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my trick on Julia.
Yeah.
Right? And then now the king is E7. E7. No, king E7. There we go. And then knight captures A8. And A8. Num, num, num. And then, of course, her bishop captures my knight as well, right? And then pawn to A4.
Let's do a better trick. What?
You want to do a better trick?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good trick. Look, this is another trick. It's not as good. Bishop A3. See, look, that kind of pins her queen against her king, but she can get out of it. That's what makes it not a very good trick. See, look, she moves the knight to B4. See that? Knight to B4. So, but because her knight is pinned, this is another trick. This is kind of a good trick too. I can do rook C1. And now, see, the bishop is still protecting the rook.
Yeah.
And now the rook is threatening the queen. See that?
Yeah.
Got a tricky little triangle here, right? And so she's going to try and get out of that with the queen to D4. And now I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to still keep your queen uncomfortable. So I'm going to knight E2, like that. And then queen to B6, QB6. She's going to run away. See that? And now I'm going to say, well, I'm going to keep putting pressure on that knight you've got right there because it's pinned against your king. So I'm going to do queen B3, like that. And she's going to say, well, I'm tired of you having pressure on my knight. So I'm going to move my pawn in front of my king. And then I'm going to do, and that's going to look like D6, right? And now my queen says, delicious, QXB4,
delicious.
right?
Yeah.
And her queen says, I don't think I want to sacrifice myself right now. So her queen moves QD8. And my knight comes in. My knight says, I'm going to go into the center of the board, knight C3, just for the sake of knights being in the middle. And Julia's knight says, I think I like being in the middle too, so I'm going to move into the middle like that. Knights like to be in the middle. And then the bishop comes in, bishop to B5, right? And then the pawn, oh, she's going to hit me with the pawn. So pawn moves to A5. You want to do another trick?
Yeah.
Queen B1. I'm looking for tricks. I only have so many tricks though. Oh, look, she made a blunder. She did the rook to E8, like that.
It wasn't a blunder.
See the rook on E8? She moved the rook to E8. And now there's a red line right there, getting the rook on E8. See that? Nom 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 nom. See that?
Yeah. So let's.
Nom 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 nom. Should it go eat him?
Yeah.
Bishop captures E8. Like that. See that?
Yeah.
And she's going to do king captures E8. But that's okay because we got a rook in exchange for a bishop. And a rook is 5 points and a bishop is only 3 points. So, how's that? All right, so that was a good trick. Now we do a knight to B5, right? And then knight to E4, knight E4. And then knight to C7 plus. And C7 plus is for check, right?
Yeah.
There's another trick. See that? Because look, This knight is saying nom nom right here and nom nom right here. And this queen is saying, oh, but I can get you. And this rook is saying, ah, but if you get him, I get you. See that? So, what's she going to do? She's just going to move her king. She's going to move her king. And that's going to be king to e7. Right? And then we're going to say knight to d5 plus. Since the knight would just be trading for the bishop, which is roughly the same. Why did I do that? That was a blunder. That was a blunder. So she's going to say, haha, I got your knight. Bishop captures d5, like that. And then we're going to say, all right, well, it's time to castle. O-O. And then this is when I didn't realize Julia had this instinct to be like, oh, Josh castled, king e6. I'm going to let my queen over there start attacking his king because he castled. So queen d3, right? And then queen g5, qg5. Oh, look, her queen is pointing all these red lines at my pieces. See that? Is her queen pointing a lot of red lines at my pieces?
Yeah.
And her knight is too? So I'm going to say, well, rook e7. Rook, not e, c7. How do you like that? But she was like, I don't care. She's like, I'm going to take my knight. I'm going to put on knight c5. And I'm going to point at your queen, right? So I'm going to say, well, if you do that, I'm just going to capture you, right? Bishop captures c5, like that. But even though I got that knight, Julia had a really good trick here. Because see, when she moves that knight, suddenly there was a little red line pointing right here. See that?
Yeah.
And there's also already a little red line pointing right here. See that? So these pieces can help each other get this guy. See that? And that, when she does that, that's checkmate. See that?
Yeah.
She goes, checkmate. Oh no.
So we
Queen captures g2. And then pound for checkmate. See that?
Yeah.
Oh no. And here's the king. And the king is saying, I can't go anywhere. I can't go anywhere. You've got me. You've got me. Good game, Julia. We got some good tricks on Julia, but Julia got the last trick, and it was a good trick, wasn't it?
Is it better than ours?
Well, I don't know if it's better than ours, but she won the game. She won the game.
So it's better than ours. So
Yeah.
it's better than ours.
It is better than ours, yeah. It's a good game, Julia.
It's a good game, Julia.
There you go.